right? So let us take an example of this type. So we have a system of linear equations, right? So these are 3 linear equations we have, and we want to find out the solution of these 3. And what I'm doing is, I'm also considering its matrix form, which should look like this way. That means the coefficient 1, -2, 1, 0, 2, -8, 5, 0, -5, and the constant side, the right hand side, that is 0, 8, and 10. Now suppose I want to solve this one, right? So my approach would be what? I'll keep the x in the first equation and eliminate x from rest of the equation, right? So I'll be what I'll do, I'll modify the equations at each step so that x shall remain over there and y will not be over. X will be in the first equation and x will not be in the second and the third equation, right? So at first step, what I'm doing is keep x in first and eliminate right, and eliminate from the second and third. Yes, are you getting me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in second equation there is no x, right? So let's say I want to eliminate from the third equation. So what I'm going to do, so I'll multiply the first equation by 5 times the first equation and plus the third equation. That's what I'm going to do, right? So if I apply this equation, what I'll get? So the first equation will remain its same. That means x minus 2y plus z is equal to 0. Second equation, we haven't operated anything over it. So that means 2y minus 8z is equal to 8. And if I multiply by -5 and add it to over here, so of course this will get cancelled, right? So, and then we'll have, I'll multiply it by -5 as well. So it becomes minus plus 10y. So it will be added to the third one. So that
10y minus 10z equal to 10.
10y minus 10z is equal to the 10. Yes, is it fine? So we'll keep on updating those coefficients in the matrix form as well. So what we're gonna get from this system, we'll get this thing. That is 1 minus 2, 1, 0, 2 minus 8, 0, 10 minus 10, and here 0, 8, and 10. Right. So now we have this thing over here. Let's try to rationalize the things. That means you have this thing, you can divide it by 2, and you have this thing, you can divide it by 10. Right. So now what we're going to do, so from this I'll name it as 2, 3, right? So however the equations has changed, but still I'll name it as 1, 2, and 3 in order to just because I don't want to confuse you. So we are not numbering so many equations. So I'll keep them as 1, 2, and 3, right? So what I'm going to do, so divide second by 2 and third by 10. Right. So what I'll get is, let me make some place over here. Yes. So that will look like x minus 2y plus z is equal to 0. Y minus 4z is equal to 4. Y minus z is equal to 1. Right. So again, we have a corresponding matrix form, which will look like 1 minus 2, 1, 0, 1 minus 4, 0, 1 minus 1, and here you have 0, 4, and 1. Right? Now you see that the y is present in the second and the third one. So what are we going to do? Again, now we shall have a treatment for the y as well. So we'll keep y in the second equation and we'll remove it from the third equation. So how we can do that? We'll simply subtract 3 from the 2, right? So now our next step is remove y from third. So how this can be done? This can be done by
Third minus second.
yes, third minus second, right? So this is something, this will look like, so we have equations over there. So that is x minus 2y plus z is equal to 0 and x minus 4y, sorry, y minus 4z is equal to 4. And if we subtract this, so we are left with what? 3z.
3z is equal to minus 3.
Right. So again, so this will give you another matrix form. This will be 1 minus 2, 1, 0, 1 minus 4, 0, 0, 3, and here you have 0, 4, and minus 3. So again, the third can be divided by 3. So third by 3 will give us sort of same set of equation, only the last equation will get changed. And now we have another matrix form, that is 1 minus 2, 1, 0, 1 minus 4, 0, 0, 1, and here you will have 0, 4, and minus 1. Yes, are you with me on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
सी समझ लग रही है, आसान है?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now once we have this kind of situation, now what are we going to do? We'll remove y from equation 1 as remove y from 1 as well. तो उसके लिए क्या करें? We'll simply multiply second equation by 2 and then add it to the first equation. Yes. Is it okay? So in that way, what we're gonna do, if you multiply this by 2 and add it over here, so of course 2y and 2y will get cancelled. And if you have multiplied this by 2, so that means minus 8z, and will be added to this will be minus 7z.
Minus 7z.
And you multiply this by this, that means 4 by 2, and this 0 will be now your 8. So let's make these changes over here, and so in result we're gonna get x minus 7z is equal to 8, y minus 4z is equal to 4, and z is equal to minus 1. Right? So of course we'll have updated matrix over here, and that is 1, 0, minus 7, 8, 0, minus, sorry, 1, minus 4, 4, and then 0, 0, 1, and minus 1. So this is your updated matrix. Now at the last step, we'll remove z from first and the second equation. So remove Z from first and second. How this can be done? Yes. So simply multiply by 4 and add it to the second equation, and multiply by 7
7
and
and add to first equation.
right. So that is something like, so multiply by 4 into the third equation and add it to the second equation, right? And next step is you multiply 7 by the third one and add it to the first equation. Yes, you're with me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So here are the things which you're gonna get. So if you multiply this 7 and this 7, so this will be added over here. So this will remain 1 and this Z will get eliminated in the first equation. So now you can have something like X is equal to 1.
1.
And if you multiply it by 4 and
Y
add
equal
it,
to 0.
so this will be like 0. So your Y will be what? 0. And similarly, your Z is already there, that is -1. So this can also be put in the matrix form. This will look like 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. And here you have right hand side, that is 1, 0, and -1. Yes.
So this example tells us that there is a connection between the coefficient matrix and the system of linear equations. So at every step, our coefficient matrix keeps on changing. So we need to know the certain operations through which we can connect the solution of the system of linear equation and the matrices. And if we know about these operations, then we can easily solve the system of the linear equations. So by applying these operations,
we can reach over here, which can give us the values of X, Y, and Z. So this example shows that system of linear equation can be solved by applying row operations, and we'll now go to the the elementary row operations. But why row operations, not column operations? Why is it so? Right? So my question is, why not column operations?
so row operations are very useful in solving the system of linear equation, but why column operations are not that much friendly for us? So basically that is an exercise for you.
Do you know any other way to solve the system of linear equations?
Sir, Cramer's rule.
Yes. So earlier you used to apply the Cramer rule, right? So few approaches which you have already done are, first is like Cramer's rule, and another one is, yes, another one, finding inverse of the matrix, right? That A inverse B approach. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why we are not talking about these approaches over here? That is also another question, right? My another question is, what are the drawbacks of these approaches? We'll be now starting with the elementary row operations. So I guess you have already done the elementary row operation, but I'll restate the facts over here. So what are the elementary row operations? Yes, can anybody tell me?
So
So-
interchanging of two rows.
Yes, Ri and Rj can be interchanged. Interchanging of rows. Right. Next one is Ri can be replaced as K times the Ri. We don't have any problem, right? As long as your K is
Constant.
non-zero. Right? Scalar multiplication. This can be done. Okay. And next one is your Ri can be, we can add equation to it and it will be having no problem. Okay. So that means replacement of row as sum of one row and scalar multiple of other. Yes, you're with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can you tell me why these three operations only, why not others, and why these three operations do matter? Yes.
So inverse find करने में भी यही use करते हैं.
वो ठीक है, लेकिन why? That's what I'm saying. Why? See, these operations have a very nice property, and that is what these operations do not affect the solution of the system of linear equations. Right? Dekho. Now, if you plot these equations, let's say this one and this one, right? I mean, I should write it over, let's say something 3. So if I change these equations, that means if I plot this equation first and this equation first and this equation second.
So does it change the point of intersection?
Tell me.
No, sir.
No, that means what? We'll be having same equation. So we'll be solving the same equation. So we don't have any problem, right? Yes. Similarly, if you have this equation, let's say x minus y is equal to 7. And if you have this equation, are these two equations same or different?
It's the same.
The same.
Right. So that means this kind of transformation will not
Influence.
solution. Solutions will still remain same, right? Because
Yes, sir.
geometrically there's no difference. Okay. So these all are the three operations have no impact on the solution. So the beauty of these operations is you can use them to find the solution without hampering the solution. row equivalent matrix. Row equivalent matrices. So two matrices are called row equivalent matrices. Right? If one can be obtained by applying a sequence of row operations, elementary row operations to the other. Right? Yes. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
बात समझ में आ रही है? आसान है? हाँ भी बताओ जरा. So if you see in this example, so this was our matrix and this was our matrix final. So these two matrices are row equivalent. Why? Because we have obtained the first matrix, the second matrix by applying a certain sequence of row operations on the first matrix. Yes. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
हाँ भाई बोलो, समझ आ रहा है सबको?
Yes, sir.
So our next definition, that is something we call it as echelon form or row echelon form, right? Okay, so a matrix A is in echelon form or row echelon form, one and the same thing, right? If it satisfies the following three properties. And what are they? They are all non-zero rows are above the zero rows. Right? So I'll briefly state those things. That means what? So the first property means that jitni bhi aisi rows aa jaye, the any row, if row contains only zero elements, will be what we are doing, we'll give them the second priority, right? So we'll keep the first priority to the non-zero rows. So you always keep the non-zero rows above the zero rows, right? So that is the first property which we're gonna use. Second, each leading entry. Now, what is this leading entry? This leading entry means first non-zero entry of a row, right? First non-zero entry of a row is in a column to the right of the leading entry of the row above it. Right? So I'll come up with an example and I'll try to make you understand how it works. Okay? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So basically, what does that mean? I'll give you a short example over here. So let's say you have 1 0 0 1 7, and here you have 0 0 1 0 0, and here you have 0 0 8 0 0 0. So now, if you pick the forget about the first row, right? If you want to get the leading entry of R2 and R3, so leading entry of R2 is 1 and leading entry of R3 is 8. Yes. Are you with me on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is the leading entry actually? What is the leading entry? Leading entry means the first non-zero entry, right? Let's say, in order to make you understand, I'll replace it by 5 and the 6. So that 5 and 6 are not the leading entries of R2 and the R3. Because we'll consider the first non-zero element of a row as the leading entry. So if you see that, your 1 is leading entry of R2 and 8 is leading entry of R3. Now, what does the second property say? The second property say that if you have a leading entry, then it should be always right to the row above it. Now, is it the right of the row above it? No, it is on the left side. Yes. इसको देखो, ये क्या है सर? लीडिंग
एक बार
एंट्री
फिर से बताना सर।
लीडिंग अभी तो मैंने बताया ही नहीं, ठीक है? So just listen to it. So this is a leading entry, right? This is also a leading entry. Are you with me on this? So होना क्या चाहिए? होना ये चाहिए that 8 should be on the right of the above row, above leading entries row. क्या ये right में है? इस column को देखो, column wise, right? If you go through this column and if you go through this column, 8 is on the right of the 1 or left of the 1?
Left.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? You will simply put a row operation, apply a row operation over here. So that will give you this, that 0 8 0 6 0 0 0 1 5 0. Yes. Now since you have changed, now if you can see this, right? If you can see over here, so that is your leading entries. Now, अब देखो, अब जो नीचे वाला row है, so let's say this one. So your 1 is on the right of 8 or left of 8?
Right, sir.
Yes, now it is echelon form. Is it okay? So basically what we are saying, we are actually increasing those zeros like in a sort of upper triangular manner. Okay, so in simple words, what I want to say is we'll stack those zeros in such a way that these zeros will be increasing form row wise. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो अब समझ आ रही है ये वाली प्रॉपर्टी?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, somebody wants to ask something. Yes.
Sir, had 1 been there on the 4th position, it would not have been echelon form.
No, it's fine. I mean, if you have, let's say your 1 is over here, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what you want to say? So,
Yes, sir.
so my property says that it should be on the right side of this, right? So it is still on the right side of this, isn't it?
Okay, sir. ठीक है.
So her query is genuine. Are you getting her query? Yes?
Yes, sir.
That means I want to say that if it doesn't matter if your 1 is even not over there, even then it doesn't matter. Let's say if the matrix will look like this way, even then it is echelon, right? Because then this first property will come into the picture, that stack your 0 rows just at the end of the non-zero rows, right? So non-zero rows should be above the 0 rows. Is it okay? So the only point is if the leading entry is present over here, then it should be on the right side. If it is there, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the next part is, which of course I've already mentioned, but let's say again. So the third property is all entries in a column below the leading entry should be zeros. Yeah, or are zeros. Now, if you see this is your leading entry, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
If the entries are present in the below of this column, then they should be 0. That's what it says. Okay. So that means, let's say try one more example for this. So is it an echelon matrix? Yes. Tell me.
No, sir.
Why is it no?
Sir, 1 के नीचे 8 है.
Exactly. So 1 के नीचे 8. So when you get a leading entry, that means the first non-zero entry of a row, then there should be zeros, right? All the zeros below in this particular column. Yes. Here it follows. You have 1. You have 8 over here, and below 8 it is 0. But here it doesn't follow, right? So what we're going to do, we'll apply row operations in order to get that form. Okay. So right now it is not in the form of, not in the echelon form. We'll be using row operations in order to make that form. Okay. So that we'll be discussing in our upcoming lectures. Yes. You all with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Okay.
can you please tell again that what is a leading entry?
Leading entry is the first non-zero entry of a row.
So then in the first row, 1 is also a leading entry.
Yeah, but it's fine. Every entry, see, your 1 is leading entry over here, your 1 is leading entry over here, your 8 is leading entry over here. But the problem is, I'm saying that it's not like about the leading entry, but the point I want to make is, if you say that this matrix in an echelon form, then it has to satisfy certain properties. And one of the properties is all the entries which are below the leading entries in that column, that should be 0, right? So in first case, it is fine, right? All the entries below the leading entries are 0. Yes.
Yes, sir.
But in second column, it doesn't follow. So if you see this thing, this is non-zero, right? So leading entry is 1, that is fine. But the entries below this leading entries are not 0. So we'll say that it is not, right now it is not in the echelon form. Yes.
Okay, sir.
And if you want to make it in the echelon form, of course, we'll be applying certain operations. And how we can do that, that we'll be discussing in our subsequent lecture. Okay? आसान है ना, तुम सीधा रो ऑपरेशन लगाओ, you just multiply it by 8 and then subtract it. Of course, you will get zeros over here, isn't it? Let's something like that. Okay, so let me finish this one. So you multiply this row 2 by 8 and subtract it from row 3. So what do you get? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now this is in the echelon form, right? So we are discussing about the form, whether it is an echelon form or not. So the answer is now, right now it is in the echelon form, because if you see the leading entries, so these are the leading entries, and we have all zeros below these leading entries. Yes? Sorry, this is not the leading entries. Yes. True?
Yes, sir.